this is the building that we built for the project.
And I'm Sarah Woodard.
Will Jowers.
Troy Wiltshire.
Zachary Bruton.
So I'm gonna be going over the introduction of the project. So we met on Fridays at 5:30, 4 weeks straight in this building, right outside the classroom, for probably 4 hours each time we met. I was in charge of getting the materials, adding materials, and keeping them safe, you know. And then communicating with COSAC, which is pretty important also. Any questions the group had, and everybody in this group did really well communicating with each other. Everybody showed up on time, and that's really important, especially when you're working as a group. And since this is my first construction class, having these guys, you know, that have been through a bunch of other classes helped a lot as well during the whole process of doing this. I'll pass it on to Troy now.
All right, since at the beginning of this class, I was the only one that had completed estimating class. I did the quantity takeoff for all the estimating, and when I first did it, I was estimating for 3 different sizes of board width, and so once we got to class and found out we were only going to do the 2 different sizes, I had to readjust that, and then I also purchased some tools to help us cut. I got this thing called a miter cutter, which allows you to cut angles, and it's like a pair of shears that will just snap that stuff. Made it a lot easier to cut the 2x4 pieces. But we also had an X-Acto knife, which helped in some areas as well.
All right, I'm going to be talking about some of the methods we used when we were building this here. Obviously, we started with the foundation, going off the drawings that Zach did, and creating the foundation first. And then we moved on to the walls. We started with the 2, or definitely the easier wall here, without the window or door, just to kind of get our feet wet with constructing one of these walls. And then we moved on to the more complex walls with the windows and all the headers and everything. And for when we were constructing the windows and doors and everything, we pre-cut all of these smaller studs to make sure that it was going to meet the requirements of the project. And then we moved on to the roof, and we pre-framed this roof based on the drawings, and we had to get our angles right with the miter cutter to make it all come together right. And obviously the last thing we did was throw on the braces, and that's pretty much how we got what we got. And we came up with some good methods and good processes of how we could all work together and get it done and not spend an egregious amount of time on it. So Sarah's going to talk about some mistakes we made.
Yes, I'm going to be talking about some mistakes we made, and luckily we only made one big mistake, little mistake, not big, but and luckily we found it the first time we met, the second time we met. But anyways, it was in our foundation, and we used the full 12-inch board that COSAC gave us, and so we realized that was the wrong scale we were using. We needed to use a 16-inch scale, which would put these down to 9 inches, and so that would make our dimensions all correct with the floor joists and everything under. But we did a really good job figuring out that mistake and figuring out how we can move on from it and get the project, keep on going and everything. And I can agree with Jerry that having these guys taking all the other classes definitely helped us for sure building this, because it wasn't easy for sure.
Your first BCN class?
Yes, it is.
As we all know, we were responsible for doing some shop drawings. So in this group, I did the shop drawings, and I don't know how most people are, but I'm not a big technology guy. So I did the shop drawings on paper. For me, it helped to split it up into different sections. And I don't know if you can see it in the video, but I broke it into different sections, each side of the wall. And then I did the foundation drawings the same. Here's the foundation of it. And then for the roof, since it really has like 5 different parts, I just did it all on one page. I just did smaller drawings where you can see the measurements. I feel like doing it this way really helped us because I don't know how other people feel, but the drawings in Canvas were a little hard to read in my opinion. And using the drawings in Canvas and also the 3D model for the SketchUp is what helped me do the handmade drawings. So I referenced between them two, and then went back and did the measurements, and then we built off that when building the house after we met. Some things I feel like learned from this project is communication, obviously, and teamwork. Teamwork is very important in the construction industry. Our whole job is working with teams and different, personalities and attitudes that sometimes you don't want to work with them, but you have to. It's your job. You're responsible for getting a job done. So this teaches you how, in the real world, you gotta do what you don't want to do sometimes, and work as a team and move past things. And also, I feel like this helped where not everybody's schedule lines up, and there's only certain times you can meet in certain days, and not everybody can be there. But I feel like as a group, we work really good together to meet and work on a project as a group instead of just breaking up into different sections and having one person do one thing, another person do the other thing, and just all come together once for an hour, glue it together, and call it a project.
Yeah, we kind of took it like a construction crew. Like I kind of was like the cut man.
Yeah.
I bought the cut tools. I would go through the drawings. I would like, okay, all right, these are the sizes we need on this wall, and I'd cut all the sizes and I'd hand it to another team that would glue it together, and that made it a smoother process. The roof was kind of difficult in that, but on
The
that
roof was definitely the hardest part to do of the whole project.
For sure.
Yeah, to elaborate on that, like you were saying that you were cutting, like you would cut out the windows, and me and Will would just glue it right on there.
Yeah,
I think that was pretty efficient.
Yeah, I tried to make it like if you're putting together like a model airplane or something. You're like, all right, here's all the pieces. These are these pieces, and these are these pieces. I didn't label them, but I said, they were right there. So I'm like, okay, glue all this together and look at the drawing.
And this project also helped you learn that when something goes wrong, you have to work together as a team to fix it. You can't just tell one person go fix it if everybody messed up. So I feel like, as Sarah mentioned, the one mistake we made, I feel like as a group we did a pretty good job to work as a team and fix it while also continuing the project and not setting us back too much.
Yeah, it disappointed us all. Oh man, now we gotta start over. But we didn't get on each other's nerves or anything. We all like buckled down and we're like, you know what? We made the mistake. We're gonna learn from it and we're gonna press on. So,
Overall, as a group, I had no complaints.
Yeah,
I would say it was a good
one
group.
of my better groups that I've had in group projects since I've been in the BCM program.
For sure.
The biggest thing is just showing up and being committed. So,
Working as a group for group work.
Yeah.
Who would have thought?
Especially since one of our members lives over an hour away.
We did it though. We did it.
So,
All right.
anybody else got anything else?
I think we're good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.